Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft with me, Nisi. Today, we are hitting the 95 episode mark, which is crazy number to take in. And that means we've only got 5 episodes until what I deemed myself to be the most important moment ever in history, ever to do anything, which is the 100 episode mark, of course. And if I haven't mentioned it enough, in the 100 episode mark, I'm planning to do a world tour, I'm planning to do a world download. So obviously the pressure is on to make sure everything is perfect. Not that it can ever be. Today we are on the fixing things side of getting ready for things. And instead of building something fun and new, we're gonna try to fix some things like this redstone here not working. In fact, I don't think it's connected, but ooh, diamond blocks. But yeah, we've got redstone to fix, places to clean up, and hopefully a couple of quality of life improvements to do as well. So first, let's survey the situation of everything I can think of that might need fixed. These redstone farms, the moss farms, they break all the time. Even though I added chunk loaders, ever since Mojang went ahead and changed the spawn chunks to not be spawn chunks anymore, these farms just break constantly. Like, chunk loaders, it does not matter. So I think there's a better way to do this whole farm. I'd like to fix it, both for, anyone that wants to play in this world, but also me. I'd like to play in this world and not have to fix it every single time. It's also horribly inefficient. And let me show you something. Oh, can I? Yes, I grabbed a moss block. So at the moment, this moss farm, we made this so long ago that I don't expect anyone to remember. This was like episode 7 or something. At the moment, the bone meal that is collected by this farm, let's just free count for a second, is connected up to these water pipes. As you can see, it goes through and through. But these water pipes, all they do is if those hoppers down here, the ones that feed into the micro farms, if they're full, it just cycles forever. I never actually built a drop-off point. So these items actually just float until they despawn. So inefficient. And then my actual collection system here for a lot of the bone meal just is capped at this because of the comparators. I tried to fix it in the past, and because it's super small in space, I couldn't get it to work. It should work, but it doesn't really work. So one of the things is going to be fixing these moss farms. There is another one upstairs. This one also runs out of bone meal all the time, which means the bone meal that is cycling around here waiting to despawn could really go upstairs and run that moss farm. Where else do I have redstone? I have my lava farm. I think this is mostly okay if I go down. Is it functioning right now? There should be a minecart going. Yep, there is a minecart going back and forth. This breaks like at once every 100 days. It does break, but very rarely, so I don't think I need to touch it. And the other thing that breaks all the time is, of course, my pumpkin farm, which I need to trade with villagers. So this is actually super frustrating when it happens, which is like every other day. I've made it slightly better by installing some chunk loaders, but the mess inside here is a nightmare. I think the chunk loaders, unless I die, they stop the minecart that is up here from losing its momentum. But what I've noticed recently happening is that the slime of the flying machines themselves just kind of stop randomly. I don't know if there is anything I can do about that, unfortunately. Unless I have like a series of trapdoors that are all powered and unpowered randomly. Yeah, I have no idea. So I think my goal with this farm, the thing is I don't know what causes the flying machines to break. And having the chunk loaders has really helped a lot of the minecart issues. I think we're just going to want to clean up the space. It is very ugly in here with all the grass and random torches. I think everything is working fine in this farm. Has it been collecting things? Oh, yeah, absolutely. We might need backup storage for that one. That farm is working fine, and let's take a look at our wool farm. I'm pretty sure this is all working okay as well. Haven't been to the iron farm in ages. Hopefully it's all still working. Yep, we still have villagers. And oh, we're not quite full. We're not quite full, but we're getting there. We're certainly let's get rid of these. I don't know why those are there, but I do need to fix this up from the time it caught fire, which means do not do a ceiling made out of wood for this build. And this hidden little passageway between the iron farm and the bee farm could really be prettier. So I'll want to clean this up as well. We're full. Okay, that's fine. I really thought I don't have that many farms, but then when you go and visit every single one to make sure it worked fine, it turns out we do have a few. How's this going? Hay bales seem to be coming in perfectly fine. More than I could ever use. Nothing stuck in chests. Nothing stuck in the hoppers, I think. Should be fine. And the minecart's still going. And finally, the rest of the micro farms in this area. This one seems to be working just fine. It's full up actually, but that's okay. And the old pumpkin melon farm, yep, it seems fine. It's full up. We're despawning items. How about, oh yeah, bamboo farm. That needs that needs cleaned up slightly. Where does this go? Huh. Forgotten what bits of my world are. Old cactus farm. Also full up. Okay. We're certainly wasting some items, but you know what? That's okay. Well, let's start on the moss farm then. I'm gonna need to go and turn this thing off. Somehow. I don't think it's got an off switch. It's that old. It's been a while since I've done anything redstone-y and explainy, so I'm gonna do my best to tell you what the problems are and how we're gonna hopefully fix them. Problem number 1, inefficient bone meal usage. I, silly little goose, decided to just have a massive stack of hoppers. All lead to the same dispenser. So we actually have so much bone meal here just stuck in these hoppers instead of using a water stream or anything like that. I don't really know why I did that. I'm sure there is a valid reason. And the way this basically works is only on the last hopper right here, when we have a surplus of bone meal in that, does it filter down to the collection system. So this actually works out fine because when this hopper in front of it is full, it's going to start accumulating here and then it's going to get sent down. So theoretically, we never run out of bone meal in the main dispenser. Perfect, but very inefficient. And then that surplus that is filtered down needs to go between the collection system and upstairs moss farm. So yeah, not very good. And I think to help with everything, we're just going to tear down a couple walls and repair it after. Problem number 2 is the way that cobblestone generates here on the lava water thingy generator. Smoothstone generator, that's it. I don't really understand why this happens. It's something to do with Minecraft itself. So theoretically, this should always generate smoothstone because we have water and we have lava, and flowing one and solid of the other, I think, or both flowing generates smoothstone. But sometimes the water doesn't flow fast enough, I think, and that's what makes the cobblestone generate. Or maybe it's the lava that flows too fast, and I'm not sure. It's something to do with this whole interaction. I know it's a common problem, a very common problem. What we're going to do to fix it is I've seen some modern moss farms use observers to detect when the block underneath is generated and then it gets pushed and pushed. And theoretically that fixes it because you're not relying on weird timers. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that will be better though. It's very hard to fix something you don't know what's causing it or why it works or how fixing it works. I do know though that we don't need all of these anymore. I haven't actually thought through as to how the observers detect the stone. I would assume they have to be underneath. Would they not send off a signal every time? You know what? Let's find out. Let's get rid of all of this that I'm sure was interfering with my signals on the other side. No, my observer. Okay. Let's practice placing observers. Needs to go up. This, no. How do I place it the correct way? It needs to point up. On the side of the block. Now, I feel like that is going to be very slightly tricky. Not quite what I wanted. They're all a block too late. How did I manage that? No, I'm gonna lose every single observer here. Yep, I am. And you might ask, why didn't you... Oh, did I drain my water source? I did. You might ask, Lucy, why didn't you block the lava off before you did this? I didn't think. I simply did not think. Right, well, at least we have a bazillion quartz from the Nether Hub. So these will all get powered. And then we need to power these pistons above them, which should be pretty straightforward. I think with the use of torches, which would invert it, but you know what? Let's give it a go. I forgot the most important rule of modern redstone. I was thinking, how do I connect things? How do I connect things? Well, modern redstone's answer to connecting things, doing anything at all. Observers. Just use more observers. I want to transfer the signal, and I could use more observers. That did not work. I thought that would work. Oh no. Oh, it needs to be note blocks. Yeah. I don't know if it has to be note blocks. I just have a feeling note blocks will probably work. And this is really eating through my redstone, but that's just how redstone episodes go. So if we remove these, that did something. Wait. No, that's not quite what I was intending. Okay, let's see if we can fix this. Maybe it just needs to be fixed. Nope. Cooked a bit too hard. Well, we got somewhere. But it's only making cobblestone. I made a cobblestone generator. Oh, wait, smooth stone. It pushes too fast, so the water actually doesn't spread. I see. Otherwise it would it stop? It's still making a whole bunch of noise. Okay, let's see if I remove this. Yep, oh no, that's smooth stone. Nope, that's cobblestone again. You know what? I think I've made it worse. Why? Well, there is a simple answer, and that is that the server... Oh! I have put everything on fire. I don't remember doing this. Oh dear. Great, it's actually extinguished. It's sort of, not really. Can I block this off? Nope, nope, nope. Oh, disaster. Oh, terrible, terrible, awful disaster. Oh, working with... Yep, I know I'm on fire. I'm trying to put this flame out. That's gone swimmingly. I got sidetracked. I started trying to mess around with pistons and stuff, thinking maybe I should change the piston timings or use observers to detect when the lava is generated. Can I just dump stuff in here? Started getting distracted on the pistons and everything. I think the biggest problem though is even with the chunk loader, it's not all in the same chunk. The farm is split apart multiple chunks, as you can see. There's a chunk border right here. And if you're a redstone noob and you're wondering, why does that matter? Well, you see, redstone's got this funny little thing where a lot of farms, including this one, will break if half of it is loaded and half of it is unloaded. So say I am going in that direction towards my base. Let's free cam for a second so we can see what's out there. Yep, my base. I'm going in that direction. Well, at some point as I'm leaving, this chunk right here, which is sort of before this line that's kind of hard to see, the chunk on this side on the left, would unload before the chunk on the right. And that would leave some things loaded, that would leave the redstone sort of out of sync and cause all sorts of issues. Which I think this kind of check out, because I think most of my cobblestone generation is actually on this sort of right hand side rather than the left hand side. So the best thing to do would be just to push everything onto the same chunk. Thankfully for me, I'm actually only one block out in terms of the moss, but I'm quite a few blocks out in terms of the redstone timing. So this, basically everything on this side of the chunk, we're gonna want to get rid. Just pick up the farm basically and move it to the right. But I don't actually think I need it as big as it could be. I think we can get rid of this entire row here and it would still be okay. Honestly, we'd have a smaller farm, but if it means it doesn't break as often, then it's just as efficient, if not more. Snow is falling, moss is growing, I'm still somehow getting cobble. I don't want a copyright strike. Okay, so I'm kind of done working on this farm for today, and you guys are gonna see there's a big jump in progress here from where we last off. I've moved the farm, you can see it's a lot smaller. I've changed all the timings, I've changed pretty much everything that was going on here. We've also disconnected the upstairs farm, because that is a project for another day, to be quite honest with you. A lot of this is a project for another day. I got really burnt out working on this. I've got about maybe, honestly, what felt like another hour worth of footage of me messing around with the farm. That's why there's such a big gap. And before I talk over what I've done to the farm, I want to talk about why I did the farm in the first place. Because some of you might be asking, Lucy, why didn't you just Google it? Why don't you just follow a tutorial? And I'll be honest with you, a big goal of mine is to be good at redstone. I want to be really good at redstone. Unfortunately, I'm really far away from that. Sometimes I think I'm really good at redstone, and then I get this happen. And I don't know why specifically, but just in that one line, I'm still getting cobblestone. Just that one. Just see this line here. Just specifically in here. I don't know why. I've decided to just leave it, accept it. And this cannot be tackled with my current redstone levels. I do feel like I've improved a little bit, so let me tell you about this farm the best way that I can. What is the big sort of change that I've done here compared to what it was before? Well, obviously, as I said, the problem last time was that we were getting a lot of cobblestone. We're now down to just one specific line. I think it's this one here with these observers. This one's still generating cobblestone, but it's much better than it bricking the whole farm like constantly all the time before. So this is already a massive improvement. It's also, I think, more efficient. I don't have it hooked up to the upstairs farm, but we're filling up this really fast. I think soon enough we're going to start seeing some bone meal sit here on top of the hopper as it comes in. So I changed this over to a water system, but I haven't set this up to collect the extra bone meal yet, which I'm not too sure how I will do. I might just have it periodically close this water stream and redirect the bone meal every so often, so we have like a couple of minutes of it feeding the dispensers and a couple of minutes of maybe it feeding the chest. That sounds like a very simple solution that will just do the trick without having to use like a bunch of comparators to see how much everything everywhere, you know. As you can see, the water system's a little bit different because I tried to move things onto the same chunk. This redstone does kind of stick out a little bit, but I'm hoping that even with this one little line of redstone, that we're not breaking things. We no longer have our timers over here because that was in a separate chunk. So if I go downstairs here, you see I've torn out most of the building here to make this work. I have a couple timer systems. First, there is a hopper clock up here. And this controls how often everything kind of runs. This is the main clock, so it's very adjustable. This is the main clock, so every time this ticks, this pushes the pistons. But I didn't want the bone meal to go off every single time the pistons were pushed, because that's quite inefficient. You know, we've still got a lot of moss here. If we were to bone meal again right now, we wouldn't make quite as much bone meal off our moss because we're not collecting all the moss. So on this third push, you should see that we get a bit of mossage. Oh, nope. There we go. There we go. There's a bit of a delay. So basically, this is how often the pistons get pushed. Steam signal then travels down to this dropper clock here, and this little clock here, or maybe a counter is a better word, has 3 shears. Or 4, yeah, 3 shears. And when we have more shears in this dropper, aka it's pulsed quite a few times. I think on the 3rd shear, so this clock is gonna pulse this, yep, 3rd shear. And you see we reset the timer, there's a little comparator signal going out there, and it resets everything. So it's basically a timer. I kind of gave up with this design completely on my own. So there's probably way better, more efficient counters out there. But I'm pretty proud of this one. It was sort of impromptu, like, oh, I need to only bone meal every so often. So to give you guys a really good idea of how the signals here are traveling, we're using the modern redstone, we're using the observers. I'm going to free cam a little bit here for you guys. So we have this clock. There is no space here, so bear with me. When the clock slides over to this redstone here, this updates the node blocks. Node blocks powered, so it makes both node blocks go. And that signal travels through the observer chain into here. that triggers these above pistons, and it travels to this side as well and triggers these pistons, by observers and all that stuff. So this is basically how we're doing the pushing system right now. And then the rest of the signal past the counter goes off here. So when we get 3 shears in here, this signal from the comparator goes up. This observer kind of chain, I'm sure there's a name for this, observer tower maybe? I don't know. It goes up, sends the signal to the bone meal notificator thing, sends the signal to the water collection systems. Yeah, excellent. It's there was quite a few timing issues, but because I've got a clock I can adjust, I also adjust how often we bone meal the thing. It's actually a very good design. I think I've got it in a very efficient spot. Again, I don't quite have it where we, collect the spare bone meal. I don't know what's currently happening with the spare bone meal. Oh, I guess they're accumulating in the hopper. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's building up in our hopper. Okay. We're only really going to have a problem once that hopper fills up. So there's still quite a few things to do. I still have to collect a bone meal collection system here for all this extra bone meal that's ending up in this hopper. We are creating a lot more than we're using just now, which is fantastic. Then I like to hook it up to the upstairs moss farm, and what I'd like to do is have this one be strictly for bone meal, and then hook up our second moss farm to be a moss kind of collections instead. So instead of dropping this moss down to the composter chain that's directly underneath here, I think I'd want to collect the moss separately. At the moment, I don't have a way of doing that. I didn't have a way of doing that in the previous farm either. I would have to AFK in the farm itself and collect moss in my inventory, which was not ideal, and I don't really like AFKing, so we're going to get that hooked up probably next time. For this episode, I've got a couple more things to show you. I've done them already, but in terms of editing this video, it's been a little bit tough. You see, when it comes to learning redstone, it also means learning how to explain redstone and learning how to not take absolutely forever to do it. I'm failing on most of those parts, but I'm pretty proud with what I came up with here. If you can think of any way, please, if you can think of any way of making this not break anymore. Again, I don't know why it's this specific line. The second observer in has not done it, but it will do it soon. Trust me, I've tested it. If you can think of anything I haven't tried, again, these are all hooked up the exactly same way. So I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it for now. Let's get on to the fun stuff, which I've done, but you guys haven't seen, and it's gonna be edited weird, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye! I want to add a little quality of life passageway somewhere here. I'm not sure where. I've noticed it when I was going between another portals that I don't really have a good way to get from the castle town, say from like over here, to directly opposite, which has now become quite a popular area for the other nether portal, the pumpkin farm and stuff. Let me show you my existing little shortcut. So I can go through here. Oh, nope, the redstone here is also horrendous. Oop. Fall down here into the nether wart farm, and then if I keep falling down, I can end up here. And I completely forgot that I had lost a lot of villagers, and I was like, why is this so empty? I can end up here and cut through to this part. A little bit faster than walking around, but I wouldn't say it's much faster than flying. And if I go up here, I can also take this button to go out this way. But because we're going through water, it's nice and spooky, but it's not very fast. And I really want to get a way to go on the other side of the pumpkin, because right now, when we cut through, we end up over here, and I would like to have a passageway that ends up here somewhere. Now that's really tricky because none of this is terraformed, so at the moment I either need to fly around, or I go and I go grab these ladders, which takes a long time. Yep, let's climb some ladders. And then jump down like this. I can do that. But basically, I'm trying to encourage like walking through my base for both myself and hopefully for the world download, so you don't have to take the elytra everywhere. So maybe we can do a secret passageway here somewhere that's maybe one way and you can jump into this water. That would be fun. I don't really know what I've done. I'm clearly out of redstone brain for the day. But if we go over here, it works half the time. Now I can go through. It'll shut behind me. But if I just tried to do it once, just go over. It doesn't. I have to activate it twice, and honestly, that's fine. At this point, that's fine. I've got something somewhat working, honestly. It's probably the best I can do with my current Western skills and this tiny, tiny space to, I mean, let's take a look. This is what? 2 wide and like 4 or 5 tall, maybe 6. I don't know. It was it was hard. But oh, every other time it works and it covers up behind me, which was the biggest problem. I could get it to open up fine, but covering it up after, nightmare. I spent a little while trying to fix it and decided that, you know what, 50% success rate, we're just gonna have to take that for a secret passageway. I do need to cover it up though, so I wonder if I can chuck a painting on it or something. Since our other thin blocks like trapdoors and shelves are going to interfere with the redstone. Well, not interfere, but certainly make a lot of noise. I hope this works. Probably won't, but I hope it works. Oh, I've stepped on it. I did end up having to use a shelf, but that's okay because we can still pass through once, twice, and boom, off we go. Shortcut. I don't know how much faster that actually is now than flying, but at least it's walkable. You would get out there and I suppose you could walk along the edge and jump into the pool, or maybe down here if you're brave. And so I've got a question for you guys. What do you think I should do with these sort of Christmassy trees? I am kind of emotionally attached to them after all this time. I mean, these are Christmas decorations from like 2 years ago. Of course, I could reuse the resin and the lamps and re-add them to the custom trees, but I also think this is quite an iconic location. Maybe not for you guys, but definitely for me. I spend so much time here. So, do you think it should match the rest of the base that I'm upgrading, or should we leave this starter base section exactly as it kind of started off? I mean, these trees are old. They were planted in like episode 1 or 2. I don't really care about the other ones. These, I need your opinions, please. Time to do some general cleanup that I keep forgetting to do. These were the normal lighting rods at the start, but I really like this shade of copper right here, so we're gonna upgrade it a little bit. Aha, another thing that needs waxed. Get rid of some random stone blocks. Not sure why they're there. I'll probably need to do this again, but let's clean up some of the Enderman griefing. Now that just looks like they've definitely stole a block. Let's fix up some of this weird terrain as well. Not quite sure why it's like this. This can definitely get waxed just a little bit. For our last upgrade today, we're going to do something I've been procrastinating on for ages, simply because I didn't really know how to do it. But now I know, so let me show you guys what I want to do. See, this is the first time I'm actually going to be using shelves for their intended purpose, as in something to put items in, really. I want to make one of them little vending machines that people have been making to stock up on some necessities. So I did a little bit of trading, a little bit of grinding at the mob farm and stuff. And I've got golden carrots and a lot of rockets. I said mob farm, I meant the creeper farm. So what I want to do is set up little stations just to refill my stuff. Recently I realized how much easier life can be if you just, I don't know, optimize it a little bit. That's such an awful word to use. But where this is coming from is not too long ago, a couple of months ago, I got myself one of the little robot things that like hoovers or vacuums your floor. And such a lifesaver because, as you might know, I've got 2 dogs and they shed. They do shed, so we end up having to sweep or hoover basically every single day. And yeah, it's a lot. So having this little thing that goes around and just does it for me, oh my god, life is so much better. And that had me thinking a little bit of like, oh, what else can I make a bit easier for myself? You know, when life gets overwhelming, those little things really do add up, and it's nice if you can afford it. If you can set these things up, oh, so good. I mean, I get a milk delivery now. I've subscribed to a milkman just so I don't have to go to the shop as often. Isn't that great? Can you believe they still do milkmen? Well, they do, and yeah, I would recommend. So I was coming up with a design, and I decided to do something a little bit more thematic than I would normally do. Let me build it first and see if you guys can tell what it is. Not that I could read comments in real time, but we're just gonna pretend I can. Pop a thing on there, and then pop a barrel like this. Actually, I kind of prefer the other way. And pop a barrel like this. This might not be the best spot for it, but you know, that's just where I've decided to put it. Oh no, I would quite like to get my barrel back, please. And in here, we should, before we go any further, stock it up with things. So let's grab a couple stacks of rocketses and also some carrots. And I'm just going to manually fill the rest of this. So carrots, no, rockets. Oh, nope, give me that. There we go. So now whenever I need something, I can just go through and have some rockets. Whole stack in this case, but I'm going to put it back in exchange for 9 rockets. That will do. So this will automatically refill these stacks from the barrels, which obviously I can stack with as many things as I want. Now, if we finish up this design, I wanted this to feel like a little shrine, or maybe like a little good luck symbol, or a little monument. I'm not sure exactly what yet. And on here, and then put this on here, and finishing touches. I need my trapdoors. I don't think I've made enough trapdoors. And if we move away, ta-da! Can you tell what it is? It's meant to be, of course, our lovely sword, which you can just barely see here, peeking over the distance. A white version of it because, unfortunately, we don't have any grey shelves. I would have quite liked to make them out of stone, but I decided it was better if it was all basically the same color. And I actually really like the look of this. There's this little thing that I think is going to really help my life in this world. But I think it's also going to look quite cool, you know, we just have this bunch of these little swords scattered around in areas where I think they might be useful. Obviously, the more of them I create, the more I have to not forget that they're there and actually refill them once they're out. Where would be a good spot? I kind of want to have them too frequently, but I also want them to not be like a focal point. They just need to be on the path but not blocking anything. This might block a window. I could actually kind of see one here. Yeah, let's do one here. Of course, I do need to kind of tear it down a little bit to refill it, but that's okay. Hopefully, I won't be needing to refill them all that often. Not when it's spread out between things. And I'm still going to have a shulker in. Actually, no, I don't need to tear it down because I've just got a wall on this, so I could just click it in. Oh, that's perfect. Here we go. And then let's finish this up. These can go up in about a minute. I think they look cool. I would have really liked to make it kind of look sharper at the bottom, but I couldn't think of a single way to do that. And I'm gonna get rid of some of these and maybe extend the path here a little bit. So there is a slight issue to this, is that it always holds 3 slots, and I don't think it really cares what order they're in. So if I were to take the carrots out, it would just refill it with rockets, which is not ideal. But I think I could avoid that by doing this. No, I can't. Okay. Oh wait. This? Because it's not refilling this slot. You know what? I'm not really sure how I would fix this. Which means the carrots aren't really good to grab because we'll just refill it with rockets. Kind of more strategic about this. It's like if I do this. That's a lot of effort though. I don't think I care that much. If I need to, I can just jump up and I guess suppose grab it from a barrel, kind of do it manually. But I'm really happy with it. I love that it's useful. I love that it looks cool. I love that it's easy to build. And we're done. I've placed a whole bunch of them. I think, well, actually, let's count them. Let me show you them all and let's count them. So, one in the city. 2 right outside the city gates. 3 by the mushroom forest. 4 outside the storage room and outside the city gates again. 5 by the lighthouse by the spawn hut. 6 by all the farms. 7 by the sheep farm. And 8 by the port. These went up really quick, but I had run out of carrots straight away, so I had to go buy more. And yeah, there isn't that much stock in them just now, but I want to refill my rockets in the stack. Yeah, why not? Boom, rockets full. It's actually going to be so useful, I think, long term. Well, that is about it for today's episode, but I wanted to show you guys a couple more things. I know I always say I'm going to do things off camera and then I basically never do them, but check this out. I did do some things. I did some things. I've replaced trees that were here, the basic, the default vanilla trees, with these custom trees over here. And I think they look really cute, actually. I really like this effect. And I'm slowly going through and replacing most of those vanilla trees with something a little bit more custom. That's why I was asking why I should do it with the ones in the snowy bit of my base. I've also replaced the ones over here. I've even added a bit of like, I don't know, foresty kind of pathy thing here, like the forest ground. Very cute. You know, these are very basic spruce tree designs, but I think they work. I think they work. And that's not all. Off camera, I also did a little bit of terraforming. So actually, this was on camera. This was on stream, but off camera for you guys that are watching the video. It's not quite fully finished. As you can see, I have a big section here. I somehow, you know, I got like 99% of the way there, and then I've just been stuck on this bit. Can't be bothered. I can't be bothered, but that's okay. I did this little rock over here. And if I rotate the free cam, you see I did it here as well. So before we had the redstone kind of floating and exposed. That's looking a lot better. So high five to me. Good job, me. I did some work. I did some work I said I was going to do, and we're going to keep doing that as well. I know I started off this episode by saying I wanted to fix a couple farms, ended up breaking one and kind of rebuilding it, so haven't done any of this yet. I actually don't know what to do with the inside, so that's my excuse, but I will sort it off camera. Don't worry, it will all get done before the world download is out. That's all I can promise. And I also really wanted to fix the spawn here. If you don't know what this is meant to be a place, well, this is a spawn, first of all, but this is meant to be the place where we spawn in and we play a little bit of a song, you know, that cheers up for spawning in or to welcome us to the world. I should really only spawn in this if I break my bed and die or go to the end. Not that frequently. But under here, as you can see, there's a bunch of redstone. And if I were to just activate these lights here, which are meant to be... Is that right? I think we do this, and then we do this, and then I think I fixed it. Just need to press the button. And you can see this light is spiraling like this. This was the best I could do with my skills. I actually kind of like this. Problem is, of course, you don't spawn directly where you think you should spawn. You spawn like somewhere in the spawn radius. So it could be anywhere, but imagine you spawn specifically here in the center. Wouldn't that be cool? Look at you. Welcome to the world. I want to do this. I want to fix this. But I don't quite know how to do it. So I'm here to ask for your opinion. I've been asking for help a lot this episode. That's just what redstone does to me. My question here is, I want to play a song when somebody respawns or spawns in here. And I already know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to have it pick up walking in the area. Just walking is fine. With skull sensors. And we're going to hook that up to the lights and the music. The music itself, though, is the problem. You see, there's a couple ways to do music in Minecraft. You could do music discs. You could do note blocks. You know, stuff like that. And the thing with music discs are that they're more customizable. So I could, you know, if a new song gets added to the game, I could change the music disc and have that play really easily. It's very easy. So much easier than note blocks. But no blocks do mean I get to learn something new, which is kind of the point of, well, the whole world, really, is for me to challenge and try new things. And I would love to play with no blocks and do a song, but my worries are I don't know what song to do, first of all. I'm not a composer. I'd have to use a song somebody else has written. I'd have to find something that wouldn't get copyright striked or be short. And then when it comes to the note blocks, there are tools and websites out there that you can put in like a .midi file, which is like a sort of a music file. If you don't know what it is, I don't know how to explain it because I am very barely familiar with it. You can enter that in and it'll give you like a basic note block configuration for it. So you can basically copy it into the world. And the reason I'm even considering this is because I've never worked with note blocks. So it might be a really good starting point to just start with something like that. Like, like I wouldn't be able to build a moss farm if I've never seen other people build moss farms before. I would have a vague idea of what I'm trying to do. So maybe I need a vague idea what I'm trying to do with no blocks before I start building into it. Or should I just go for it? Should I just not do that and really suffer? Or maybe just get it easy? I don't know. I need a song. I don't know. But the thing is with a song is if it gets old with a no block thing, it's not an easy change. Whereas a music discus. So I don't know. At some point we're gonna do this, and I think I'm gonna do that at the same time I update all these trees and add some paths. And I'm actually kind of considering maybe adding like a little port here. Hi kitties, really upgrading the spawn. So that's it for today's upgrades and updates and all of that episodes. We're actually technically on Tiny Takeover with the new babies, and I have bred some, but they just don't really fit into the episodes. So let's go look at them. Actually, are they still here or have they? I think they've grown up. Let's get more babies. Boop, boop. Tiny Takeover! I don't know what else to say about the Tiny Takeover. Welcome to the update. It's cute. I am so excited for the sulfur caves though. Oh, they're going to be so much fun with the new block sets. Anyways, that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I definitely had a lot of fun with redstone and updates. I'll catch you in the next time. Goodbye.